Hello and welcome back to Cipheros. Today we're going to explore all the building methods that there are in Python. So let's begin. What are methods? What we can understand is that methods and functions are not exactly the same thing, but methods are functions inside of a class which are exclusive for its instances. Data structures that barely want in Python are instances of a class which are in the code of Python. Do you remember that Python is made of C++? Well, on that C++ code, there are definitions that when we declare, for example, a specific data structure, these are initialized. On this case, I have a list. If I write this code, an instance of the list class is being run. And now I can use all the methods I want that there are on this class. On this case, for example, we have reverse. And what it does is just applying a mirror effect on the list. In Python, there are four building data structures, but I wanted also to extract strings from lists because they have their exclusive method. But yep, strings are lists. Notice that in the dictionary we have key value pairs, therefore this data is linked. Okay. Similarly, on set there is no pair, and on the tuple, notice how we use parentheses to declare it. So let's start with the matter. We're going to move on the string methods. So if we declare a string just like this, we can apply the next building methods. And the first one is upper. So what it does is turns all the characters into uppers. Similarly, with lower, we're going to turn all the characters into lowercase. With a strip, we remove leading and trailing white space, so there's no more blank space at the beginning or the end of the string. That's why I declare it like that to show it up. On a split, we turn the string into a list based on a separator. It takes a parameter. So depending on the separator, if it identifies, well, the next character will be the next element. Next, replace. Take a word or a character, the first instance of it, replace it with the second parameter. Very fast example. On file, well, it returns the first occurrence of what we are trying to find on the parameter. And here you have it. Yep, the blanks spaces count for this research. About joining, we are turning a list or a iterable in general, but here you have the example, okay, into a string. Now let's move on to lists, which are very similar. So if we declare a list just like this one, we can use the next methods, just like append. And if you come from JavaScript, well, it works in the same way that the push method. So what it does is just adds the parameter at the end, which is basically the meaning of append, by the way. Next, extend. And it takes an iterable. Add all elements of an iterable to the list. Here's the relation that I explained to you, which was that, yep, strings are lists. So if we pass a string, it's taken as an iterable. Well, we add each character as new elements. Next, pop. And what it does, it just throws up the parameter x. Therefore, if we bring out this list pop 1 on the console, it will appear Barbie. Yeah. About removing, which is also used in sets, by the way, this is not exclusive from lists. It removes the first occurrence of x. Now with sort, basically what does is just sorting the list in place of alphanumerically. Here you have the example. Notice that ABC and ADB share the first letter. We move on to the second one to compare. And if, for example, this share also B, we move on to the next one and so on. With reverse, we've already seen how does it work. Yet you have here another example, and let's move on to dictionaries. So if we have something like this, we can apply the next methods. And the first one is keys, which just returns all the keys. That is all. Similarly, with values, we return all the values that are found on the dictionary. Here you have the example. Next, on items, well, it returns all the key value pairs, as you can see over here. Notice that this is an array of tuples, by the way. On get, which takes a parameter, we are trying to find the values from a key. We can take as second parameter in this case, which is going to be a message if this value is not found. And around the last one, which is update and takes another dictionary, well, it takes the dictionary with key value pairs from another dictionary. If we declare another one that, as you can see, shares the same first key, which is vowel 1, but with a different value, which is new string 1. And if we apply this method, we notice that the value 1, which is the first key and the both share, is updated with the value of the second one, which is new string. Additionally, the X key and the value X, we have it are updated and added because the first dictionary didn't have it, but the second one. Let's move on to sets. So if we declare a set just like this, we can pass building methods such as the next ones. We have adds X to the set, very similar to append. I think this is the same thing. Notice that we can also add a tuple as a new element. Also, we have union, which takes an iterable, and what it does, it is just unifying the set taken as a parameter with the set applied. Something similar happens with intersection. This just returns a new set considering the values that set 1 and set 2 share. On this case, these two just share the number 1, and this cause will return this 1. Finally, we're going to move into tuples, and what we need to know is that tuples are immutable. Therefore, we cannot just do many stuff with them. Actually, the methods that we see are just for getting data. First one is count, which counts how many times the element appears on the tuple. On this case, we have 2 number ones. Finally, index takes the value, the start, and end as parameters. Let's see, it returns the index where the element is found. So we have the subscribe in the string, and it returns just the number 2 because this one occupies the 0 index, this hello occupies the 1 index, and this 2, well, this is what it returns. Yet, if we pass the start and end parameters, which don't have necessarily go along, this process could change completely. Let's say subscribe and then 3. So with a start, our process of searching from these 3 elements, and because there ain't nothing else right words, well, it just verifies over here, but obviously it is not. One is not subscribed. So I don't know what else to say. Seriously, thanks for watching. Let's move on to the next video, which is going to be all the building functions in Python. Follow us on Instagram. That's all. Also check out some free courses that we have a playlist on our YouTube channel, which are programming every day until college, and Calculus 1 Crashy Coursy. Goodbye.